Morning everybody, welcome back to our regular Saturday shop day here today, and we're going to get back on the Top Fuel bike. Plan is to hopefully get the motor out today, possibly the tranny. I'm not 100% sure how that's all held in there. If the tranny and the motor plate are all together, then obviously we'll try and get both of them out. But that's the plan. Want to get the motor out, we'll get it up here into the front room, get a table cleared off, and just sort through the motor. The previous owner of the bike had pulled the top end off already and checked out everything inside of there. Supposedly it's all good and fresh, but doesn't have any gaskets in it or anything, so we'll be able to check that out. We'll check out the flywheel, see what's going on there. The motor is missing the camshaft, so I got to get a new camshaft, and with that we're going to have to make some parts to drive the fuel pump from the Hilborn injection, as well as make some sort of ignition system to turn the rotor. Probably real similar to what we made on our King Tut shovelhead build, if you have been following us that long. We made a little billet type distributor, but instead of having, or like a mag drive basically, but instead of having a mag, we used a Dyna S ignition system in there, and that's a similar setup that they were running on this bike. So in keeping with the effort to restore this bike and not really change a lot on it, we're going to stick with that type of setup. So don't have any real great pictures of that, unfortunately. I don't think. I have to dig back through some of these old pictures I've been collecting of this bike and see. But other than that, that's the plan for today, is to get the motor out, and again, like I said, possibly the tranny, just depending on how everything is locked together in the frame. So that's that. We're going to go ahead and get to work. Alright, so we're out here in the shop. Gonna get the exhaust pulled off here first and foremost. Some really big giant exhaust pipes. Didn't measure them, but I think they're 2.5. These heads have been heavily modified, which you'll get to see a little bit later. Just getting all the loose stuff off. I'm gonna leave the motor complete as we're gonna pull it out, as far as the fuel pump and throttle body and all that stuff, so that we can dismantle everything on the table. Just keep it a little neater, nicer, and more organized by doing it that way. So, got the exhaust off. It looks like the motor can be unbolted and slid out the right side here, leaving the motor plate and mounts and all that stuff in. So I think I'm going to do that because it seems like it'll be easier to then dismantle the rest of it once we get the motor out of the way. So I'm going to unhook our fuel lines. We got the main feed. Then we got all the different return lines and stuff off of this block. Going to get these unhooked and just get everything loose and free that is connected to the motor, and we'll take the motor out in one piece. Got to get the oil tank out and all these other little small pieces that are still on the bike here. Oiling system on this bike is real simple. Looks like we got what is going to probably equate to about a 1-quart oil tank. Just a feed into the oil pump and a return back to the tank. No top end oiling on this, so the only point of this is runs into the oil pump and oils the flywheels. Super simple system. I would probably have thought to have a little bit bigger tank, but due to the short run time, it's probably not needed. Just taking a couple pictures here of the fuel line setup, just in case we have any confusion when we're putting it back together. I don't think we will, because with these hard lines, they're kind of only going to go in one spot, but always good to have a couple pictures when you're taking something apart that you're not super familiar with. So this appears to be some check balls. Looks like we got an on-off petcock. So I still got to do a good bit of research on this Hillborn system. I'm not super familiar with how the function of it is. I have a general understanding. It's obviously an RPM driven pump that increases fuel with RPM. That's the basic simple nature of it, but the overall function I still got to do lots of digging on. But that's going to be half of the fun of this project. So this is a cool little handmade piece that locks the rear head down, rocker box and all, against the frame, just to kind of slow it down were you to have an explosion. It helps keep the head from getting a running start and crashing into the frame. So these days I believe everybody uses straps, like nylon, like blower type straps, but it's a ballistic strap. So I think that's what everybody's using modern day, but this is what they had come up with, you know, 35 years ago. Let me tell you, it's a nice snug fit in here, man. That thing is not... I gotta get a screwdriver, try and pry it out. It is not gonna let that head move at all. Alright, there we go. So you can see it's just a little two-piece clamped together design. Looks all handmade, hand ground to fit around the welds on the frame, and just cool little piece. So moving over to the left side of the bike, we got the top motor mount. Gonna go ahead and get that removed. And then we have this large motor plate, similar to what would be an inner primary on a regular standard Harley. Pulling the front drive pulley off, so that locks on to there. Is also used to gun start the bike. And now there's multiple bolts holding the motor plate to the engine and motor plate to the frame, all that stuff. So luckily we got almost all of those out with relative ease. One of them was pretty stuck, and being that it was just a 3/16 Allen, the Allen wasn't strong enough to break it free, so I grabbed a bolt, welded it to the head of that, and was able to back that out. Unfortunately, either I didn't press the record button, or I don't know, something happened. We lost all of that footage from that side of the process. So we also didn't get the footage of us sliding the motor out of the frame. We did end up sliding it to the left, but anyway, it's out, and you'll see here bringing it in on the table. There's, I mean, these rocker boxes are Harley probably, but they're all cut up. Yeah. Like there ain't much Harley left.
Yeah, not even the cases.
No, the cases are I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of what the damn cases are. Delcron, there you go.
They're aluminum though. They're good. They're aluminum.
Well, yeah, the cases are always aluminum.
Are they?
Yeah, the old Harleys even. You know, the cylinders and the heads were iron early on.
Mine's aluminum case?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
They've never made iron case Harleys. Well, maybe somebody did, like for drag racing or something, maybe at some point. I don't know, you know, but not Harley. Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
All I know is those knuckleheads that those guys make over in Europe. Yeah, those things are so sweet.
Yeah.
13,000.
Be like a 7/16 box wrench, and also like a might be even 3/8 actually, but or 11 millimeter. The tools up here are not.
Here's an 11. Living in a material world. Thanks a lot, Matt.
You are a material girl.
Thanks a lot, Matt. I do.
Singing
I like
like
shit.
like a virgin. Yeah.
I like shit. Good to hold some music, man.
Bob, so insurance question, I'm not gonna have him, I'm gonna do it's something important, okay?
Hey, Bobby.
That's all good.
I need like a maybe a 5/8 or 11/16 also, please. It's got to be open-ended though,
Probably 5/8.
or a crescent wrench.
Does that work?
Might, yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody talking shit over there.
I said, what's he doing? He said, taking the motor apart, and I said, oh.
So now that we got the oil pump or the fuel pump and throttle body off, we're gonna go ahead and pull off the top end of the engine. This really dismantles very similar to a standard big twin Harley. It is some standard rocker boxes, but obviously they've been heavily modified. Um, they're split into two pieces. Honestly, I'm not really sure what the purpose of that is. So try and maybe see if I can't do some digging and figuring out why that would have been done. The heads are some early Evo heads, also super heavily modified. Um, the ports are giant. The exhaust ports are cut way in. Uh, there is a total, I think, of 8 head bolts now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think 8 head bolts as opposed to 4 on a standard. Um, so these heads, I can imagine, took hours and hours of modification to get them to where they are. So also this intake manifold is absolutely gigantic. So just a lot of really cool handmade parts. I don't believe at this point in time any of this stuff was really made for bikes. Like now you can buy billet heads and stuff like that, and this is original Harley heads, just super heavily modified. Probably pretty soon after the Evo came out. This bike was, running in the 80s, so they did not take too long to grab a set of Evo heads once they came onto the market. The cylinders, um, as you can see, have no fins on them. Look like a big stovepipe. Surprisingly lightweight. No markings on them that I could see. So not really sure exactly who made those or where they came from, but standard kind of fuel Harley looking cylinders. I got the first head off. Looks super clean. Looks like they've been redone. Got the first piston out. Really cool part. Looks like it has some Teflon buttons or something in it. Um, Not the Teflon wrist pin buttons, but in the skirts, which I'm not really sure what that's about. Possibly to help lubricate the cylinders, being that it's a heavily modified oiling system with super limited amount of oil in it. Um, so have to do some digging on that. Also, if anybody knows where I can find gaskets for these head gaskets for these type of cylinders, please let me know. Sure, Cometic or somebody will make them. But if anybody knows and saved me some time digging, I would greatly appreciate it. And that's gonna do it. Got the last piston we're pulling off here, and I had to order a pinion gear puller so we can get the cases split. Mine would not get this gear up, so I ordered a new one. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Super pumped on our progress. Got the motor out. Really came out super easy. I was kind of surprised. Only had to weld a bolt onto one of the bolts that was stuck, so that was a big accomplishment. We got the motor torn down to the cases. Still got to split the cases. Everything really looks good on it. Honestly, the main reason I'm going to split the cases is to clean them. Other than that, I probably wouldn't even bother, but we really want to get this thing back to fresh, like almost show condition, or race bike show condition anyway. So that's our plan. I'll get the rest of the motor torn down hopefully next week. And I don't know, man, just super pumped on this thing. Everything inside the motor looks killer. The rings are, one of the rings was broken and then I accidentally broke one, so we'll get some new sets of rings and some gaskets, and other than that, I don't think we're going to have to really replace anything inside the engine, which is really awesome. So that's where we're at. We're going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys following along, as always. Hope you are enjoying seeing something kind of different and unique, and learning along with us, because, like I said, a lot of this stuff we have no clue about, and we're just figuring it out as we go. So appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time at Gattis Garage.